During turbulent times and times of war, we all respond in different ways. In this video, I'm going to take you through 6 different response types according to the literature. The first responder type was what I like to call the alarm absorbers. People belonging to this type constantly need to monitor the news, and their mind searches for any cues signaling any threat or danger. The mind does this because it is the brain's way to prepare and protect. This backfires though, because this threat vigilance keeps the body hyper-aroused and keeps the nervous system activated. The more alarming the material that they absorb, the more threatening that the world seems, and the more unsafe that the world feels. What helps this type of responders is to limit exposure to constant triggers. They need to decrease their exposure to distressing media and reintroduce safety cues by reminding themselves that they are safe where they are right now, so that the body can disengage and the hyperarousal can stop. Physical regulation is extremely important, otherwise they burn out. The second type are the certainty seekers. While the alarm absorbers are seeking safety and protection, the certainty seekers are seeking predictability and control. What they do is they gather information constantly. They check updates and analyses compulsively in the hope that understanding the situation will decrease uncertainty. This backfires because war news rarely ever decreases uncertainty. In fact, the more information that they absorb, the more questions they get, and the more uncertainty they get. Each new additional information raises new questions, which reinforces the checking cycle, and it can escalate into doom scrolling. What helps this type is structured news consumption, regulated, scheduled, and restricted amount of news consumption, where they can get the news that they need without consuming all the news that is out there all day long. The third type is the defensive avoiders. People belonging to this type of responders are seeking emotional protection. They mute or avoid war-related content in order to preserve their resources. This backfires on them because seeking avoidance can provide short-term relief, but can maintain underlying anxiety because of the dissociation they feel between what's in their mind and what they sense is happening around them in the real world. Limited, controlled exposure to news would help this type achieve the balance they need in order to stay regulated enough to do the important things that they need to do while being informed just enough. The fourth type are the strategic limiters. This type tries to achieve psychological balance between regulation and an awareness of what is happening around them. This balance doesn't backfire on them. However, keeping that balance is tricky. What helps them the most is anything that helps them maintain this balance and directing their attention to what they can control the most. The fifth type of responders are the resilient meaning makers. People belonging to this type of responders seek purpose and agency. This is usually the type who are organizing donations, organizing support groups and help. They try to reach a deeper meaning in the experience that they are going through, and they channel their behaviors towards helping others. This response only backfires if they have too much engagement where it becomes an emotional burden, or if they feel a certain sense of responsibility for others that is beyond their control. What works best for this type is to maintain healthy boundaries between what they can do for others and what others are going through, and not internalize bad events as personal failures. The sixth responder type are the outrage certifiers. This group is trying to seek clarity and identity protection. They adopt a strong explanatory framework of what is going on, and they defend it very strongly. And they feel outraged when they see people disagreeing with their own personal view of what is happening. They seek discussions, argue relentlessly, and even coerce others into agreeing with them with their own framework of what is happening in order to accept their truth. They perceive the act of getting people to accept their version of the truth as something that protects their identity and gives them a sense of moral clarity. This backfires because strong commitment to one narrative narrows information processing. And then confirmation bias reinforces the framework. And this makes new evidence harder to consider. It also can backfire when this responder type isolates and alienates everybody around them because of the constant arguing and insistence. The more alienated they might feel, the more they stick with their version of the truth. Slowing their interpretation helps this responder type the most. So does learning to engage with multiple credible sources, and not just one. And learning to tolerate some degree of complexity and uncertainty. These are the most common 6 types of response styles that people engage with when they are dealing with an immense amount of insecurity and a lot of turmoil in the world around them. War is not an easy thing to go through, and there is no one correct way of responding and dealing with it. Comment below if you recognize your own cycle in one of these response types, and share it with someone if you think it can help. Stay safe.